Welcome to Being at Home with George. So happy to be here. And let's begin the way we normally begin, which is to create the possibility of saying yes to life, embrace whatever comes up, and generate the hope so that we can make wise choices. And so I wanted to talk about independence because it's Independence Day tomorrow. And what does independence mean? What does it mean for you? But let's start with what it means for me. Independence to me means because I have self awareness and I can self regulate that I have personal responsibility for my choices, and not just responsibility for my choices in terms of making a choice, but responsibility to understanding what the consequences of those choices are. And so living an examined life, especially since I've been in recovery, just reflecting on what it was like before I got into recovery, where I wasn't taking personal responsibility. I was doing a lot of blaming and denying, and then making a choice and not reflecting on what the consequences of that choice would be or those choices would be. And so it made it easy for me to abuse drugs and alcohol because I would just focus on getting the instant gratification and not understanding the consequences of my behavior. And so even though substances aren't the issue now, the issue now is when I make a choice, reflecting on it before and understanding whether it's going to be harmful or beneficial. And so this idea of making choices and thinking about it in terms of the highest good, the greatest good, because it's complicated. Sometimes a choice might help me but hurt someone else. Sometimes I will make a choice that helps someone else but not helps me. And so this idea of reflecting on the consequences of our choice is really important. And the Buddha went through this with his son, where he would tell his son that if you make a choice, if it harms you or somebody else, it's not to be done. And if it harms somebody else but not you, it's not to be done. If it harms you and not somebody else, it's not to be done. So this idea of reflecting on experience, because I can get into this thing about what's good for me, but this idea of live and let live, making choices that affect me and doesn't impose my will on someone else. That's really important. And at the same time, I become a tiger when somebody imposes their will on me or tries to impose their will on me or try to tell me what I should do or how I should feel or how I should be. And so in this Independence Day coming up, we have to remember that it was predicated on life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and to live and let live, to allow others to have alternative opinions and views about things. As long as we're not affecting them directly, then it's okay for us to choose life and to choose in ways that is for the highest and greatest good, which includes me and everyone else.